Hey there, everybody. Don Evans here from WatchReport.com, and this is the upcoming Rhodus Watches Skull Diver. You can see the skull on the little travel roll there. You can see it on the dial. We'll obviously talk more about that in the review here. So, little background on the owner of Rhodus Watches. David is a watch lover. He's a micro brand lover. And in some of our email exchanges, one of the things he said to me, which I just thought was really nice, was that when he got into watches, I was one of the first, Watch Report was one of the first channels he subscribed to. So that's not going to sway the review at all, is it? All joking aside, of course it's not. That's not what we do here. But that was very nice to hear from David. And this watch will be on Kickstarter. You're looking at probably end of the month, end of November 2020. He's looking to have these done by May of 2021 for the complete. Now, as far as this dial color, we'll talk about it more in the review, of course. This, I believe I saw him correct me in a post that this is the blue dial. I thought it was the teal dial. Now, looking at it in person, it's coming across more as teal to me. Looking at it through the viewfinder here on the camera screen, it's coming across more as blue. It is a gradient dial, so the way light hits it, and of course my camera settings and everything. In my eye, sitting right in front of me as I record this, it looks more teal, but he said it's a subtle difference between this and the actual teal dial. So if I'm right, and this is in fact the blue one, this one is dubbed the Barracuda. There's a couple other variations, a brown dial, black dial, again, a teal dial, which I believe is different from this one. So let's go ahead. Early bird prices are, you're looking at $279, $349 retail. Let's get the full specs page up on screen and then get into this Rhodus Skull Diver. All right there, welcome back. Wait a minute, you didn't go anywhere. I did, but anyways, if this is your first time here, welcome, glad you joined us. If you like real watch reviews, that is what you're gonna get here. And if you do like this video, right in the beginning here, go ahead and hit subscribe and that notification bell. That way you're never gonna miss any of our content. And if you wanna see what we have coming in for review before we review it here on the channel and website, you're gonna wanna follow us on Instagram. It is at Watch Report. You'll see all that information on the screen. So Rhodus Watches, Skull Diver, upcoming dive watch. This is pre-production / prototype, although I have to say, for prototype, this is a very well put together watch. I was actually very impressed with this. And one of the biggest points you're going to see throughout my review here is that $279 but $349 full retail on the website, Kickstarter overprice, because I think that's something to concentrate on. One of the first things you'll probably notice if you are a watch aficionado like I am is that this has that skin diver look and feel about it. That skin diver 60s, early 70s dive watch style. You have your beads of rice bracelet, of course. Now you do have a helium release valve at the 9 o'clock side. I think many of you have heard my rants. Epic rants as it is of the helium release valve. I'm not a fan, but if you like it, it is there. You have all of the goodies here, your sapphire, your ceramic, your 300 meters water resistance, your screw down crown. It is going to come with another strap. You got like that ballistic nylon style strap here. I think the big clincher here is two things. One, that dial. And all the different variations of that dial. Obviously, I've always seen this one in person. I've seen some other photos on his Instagram website, some renderings. Renderings really never do any kind of dial, like a gradient sunray dial like this, any kind of justice whatsoever. So I can only concentrate on what I have in hand. I really love this one. Again, I guess it's blue. Depends on where and how you're looking at it. But, and I'd love to see the teal, just to see the difference between the two, at least to my naked eye and not through the camera. David was very upfront with me when talking to him in email. If you are familiar with the Eberhard scaffoldgraph, you'll kind of notice with the markers there, those inverted markers, where he got some of his design inspiration from. Really good looking watch. It has that vintage style, of course, but I don't know if it's too over the top vintage. And of course, the other thing to talk about here is skulls. Now, some people are completely put off by skulls, and I get that. For me, and one of the reasons I definitely wanted to review this watch, and I told David I'm on a time crunch here, and I didn't know if I could fit in this review, but I really wanted to, so he gave me a little extra time with it, and I was glad that he did so I can complete this review for him, because I love skulls. Now, as I get a little older, I'm 40 by the way, as I get a little older, I think I wear less of it than I used to. You know, sometimes when you're in your 20s and maybe even early 30s, you can tend to be a little gaudy with things sometimes, or a little over the top, of course. But I own a skull ring. You'll see one of the pictures on watchreport.com of this review. And you've probably seen my ring. I used to have more of them. I only have one now. But it's from Courts and Hackett. If anybody's interested, it's from Courts and Hackett in London, England. They are the makers of Keith Richards' original skull ring. So I have that, and I have a couple of skull tattoos, and I've just always been into skulls, that whole life and death thing, and I'm not going to get into it and explain all that to you. I'm sure you really don't care. But I'm just giving you some perspective of skulls and why I really wanted to review this skull diver. And I want to go back to the Batman watch, the Undone Batman watch review that I did, because I said something in there and I thought about it when I was preparing for this review. And one of the things I said was I wanted that Batman logo to be bigger on that watch, and that I felt it was, for a Batman watch, maybe too subtle. But one of the things I love about this watch here is the fact that it is subtle. And you, even just on video here, and I have the camera and the lens relatively close up, but you could just, it's like, oh, okay, there's a skull on the dial. And then, yes, you'll see it around. You're going to see it on the clasp. You're going to see it on the crown. It is, of course, on the, you have the skull diver on the case back with the diver's helmet and everything. So it's there, but it's just not this big skull in the middle of the dial like a Bell and Ross, like the big skull and crossbones. It's not on the side of the case. It's very subtly done. And that's one of the things I like about it. I know I'm wearing the skull diver. You may not, but I know it's there. And I actually think that's very good. So apologies to anybody that I may be offended with the Batman review. It probably was done right. I mean, why do you want it to be over the top and garish, etc.? I think this is done very, very well. Now, again, this is a prototype. From what I see, though, the Loom is very good. There's a little bit of lint under the dial here, but again, this is prototype pre-production. I can't really complain about that. Overall, very nice watch. If this is the prototype, I think the production model is going to be very, very good. The only thing, and this is very little, the only thing that I'll personally pick on is the clasp. I don't like this clasp. It's clearly catalog. I've seen it on thousands of watches over all the years I've been doing this. But when I take account the price of that $279 or $349, it's much more doable. You do have a very nice bracelet. You have screws in the bracelet for that Beads of Race bracelet. It's a nice hefty case. It's a solid feeling watch. I'd still love a better clasp, but at this price, I mean, if this was $500, I'd be like, wow, I cannot believe you put this clasp on this watch. I think I would just personally like something a little nicer, a little more svelte, if you will. But otherwise, great looking watch. I wish David lots of success. Now, I've talked about this before. I'm trying to harp on it even more so for our new subscribers and our new viewers. I'm not here to sell you a watch. So David, I do wish you lots of success, but in no ways am I telling anybody to go out and purchase one of these or to sign up for your Kickstarter. You've seen the video, you're gonna read the review, you make up your own mind and your own decision. But I gotta say, do like this one, and obviously the Skull Diver stuff, yeah, I'm a little, that's me. I like it a little more even because of that, just because of that Skull Diver connection there, and the fact that I'm a big fan of skulls in general. So, and I'm saying that, right? And I'm like, it just sounds weird to say that out loud, like I'm a fan of skulls in general, but not in a weird way. But anyways, I hope you enjoyed this review. I want to know what you think of it down in the comment section below. What do you think of this Rhodus Skull Diver? Of course, I'll have all the information and links down in the description below, so you want to check that out. But let me know from you guys down in the comment section. I want to know what you think of this watch. And as always, thanks for watching. I'll talk to you on the next one.